Let's get into the Wednesday wrangle with late debate host Liz Storer on the desk with me. G'day, Liz. And Justin Smith, the columnist, broadcaster and author, joining us from Melbourne. Let's start off on the Albanese government. New surveys showing they're out of touch. Most people think they're out of touch and the country's heading in the wrong direction. And today, bad news for them, Justin. These inflation figures suggest that there won't be an interest rate cut before the election, which I think is the one little bit of hope that mortgage holders want, but also that they politically were hoping for.
Yeah, I think he would have been absolutely praying for it. I think Anthony Albanese has been praying for a win. Now, there's a really good piece by political author George Megalogenis in the Quarterly Essay, who he sligs off at both sides and suggests that maybe a minority government might be the best thing. But he says this about Anthony Albanese, is that he's acting more like a premier than a prime minister. He hasn't sort of found that voice. And I thought, gee, that rings true, doesn't it? Because he doesn't there hasn't been that leadership. We haven't seen that selling of something big, that big vision. We've had a little win over here maybe, and we've had a big loss over there. But we've never sort of seen that big vision ever really kick in, and maybe he's paying for that now. Well,
that's been Federal Labor's problem since Kevin Rudd. They've behaved like state politicians, just feeding the media cycle, looking to get a little win here, no national vision for the country or our place in the world. Liz, I think George Megalogenis, as usual, is late to the party on that one. Kevin Rudd started it. But, I mean, what's Albo's hope for here? Because the economy ain't going to do it for him.
No, and we've seen the RBA take him on over this before, namely more Chalmers than Albo himself. But these guys have been at loggerheads about this for ages. Chalmers basically making promises that he has no business making, and the RBA checks notes and says, where the heck are you getting this from? Why are you painting people such a rosy picture of the future of interest rates, inflation, etc. and so on, based on what? Now, yesterday, Chalmers faces the nation and says, oh, we've got a surplus. Isn't this wonderful? It doesn't matter to people who are struggling to afford just the necessities of life.
Yep.
You getting up there and saying, well, actually, we're back in black, everything's looking pretty in our neck of the woods. It's like, oh, well, that's great for you. And what's it thanks to? Oh, the very sectors that they, on a daily basis, do their darndest to crush out of existence.
They're really struggling, and they're just not they're not changing the direction of the political scene at all. Have a look at this in Question Time today. Both of them, that's Chalmers and Albanese, all they were able to say is, yeah, we know it's tough, but it was worse with the other mob. Have a look.
Oh.
This side of the House acknowledges the pressures that people are under, acknowledges that when we came to office, people were going backwards.
These have been difficult times, and we understand that people are doing it tough. The difference between the government and the opposition is that we've taken measures to assist people. Those opposite have just said nope to everything.
Justin, I just think they're in deep strife because they're heading to... I mean, they said we were going backwards under the last government, but we've gone backwards harder, further, faster now, but worse than we have even during Keating's recession. I mean, I just don't see... I really think there could be a change of government. It's that bad. I know that it's a difficult ask, 17 or more seats for the coalition, and you got the Teals there, but Labor just keeps sinking lower and lower. They don't seem to even have formulated a view of their government and the country and where we ought to be going.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things that what Anthony Albanese said there that are going to stop working very soon. Actually, no, let me go back on that. They already have stopped working for all politicians, and that is to constantly say that people are doing it tough. There needs to be a big and after that. And to stop talking about the opposition for governments, state governments and either side of politics, to stop talking about the opposition. Plenty of time coming up for that when we have a knockdown, drag-out campaign. And look, I think the only hope for people is that we have a really good campaign. I mean, both sides going hard, coming up with things that are actually going to make a change. Proper debate, respectful debate, going after each other. I think people are just thirsty for something like that. And we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it from either side of politics. I mean, and it's a real shame because it would be what we really need here.
I think Justin must have been Justin's just fresh from the dentist and he's still on the gas, I reckon.